So in today's video, we're gonna talk about the biggest problems and hang-ups that foreigners have before coming to Asia to visit or to live. So I would say the first thing, and this was a personal thing of mine, is probably what people will think of you. That's the first thing. You know, there's a lot of stereotypes that people are like, oh, you know, maybe this dude couldn't hack it back in his own country, so he's going somewhere cheaper. Or, you know, maybe he's, you know, a loser and he can't get girls and he wants to go somewhere else and it'll be easier. I guess it just comes with the criticism. I think there's a little bit of truth with that, maybe with everybody that comes. But listen, if your situation isn't what you want it to be and you do something about it, who are you gonna hate? Are you gonna hate the player or are you gonna hate the game, right? So I would say that's the biggest thing. Maybe judgment from family. I was lucky, my family was cool about it. I don't feel like I got really too much judgment about it. But I know there are some families that probably are, you know, they're like, what? Why are you gonna do that? Are you gonna leave us maybe? Just do it. You just have to do it. You got to figure it out, commit to it. And there's going to be criticisms with everything. And I'm not here to preach to anybody, but listen, you're going to feel uncomfortable for anything that's worth doing. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's just what it is, right? I would say another big problem that people have is, let's say you have houses and cars and things back home. I personally can't speak on that. I never had a home or anything. I only rented. I did have a car, which I sold. And for me, I just gave away a lot of my stuff. I basically was living in a one-bedroom apartment, so I didn't have too much stuff. But I gave a lot of it away, sold some of it, and just purged. So basically everything I own right now, material-wise, is in a couple of duffel bags, essentially. Not even, a small suitcase and a small duffel bag. So I know there are other YouTube channels that talk about that more, on more information you can do. I think it's great if you do have a house because then you can rent it out, you can have some kind of income. And if you're just coming for a vacation, I don't think you have too much to worry about. You know, the first time I came to Asia, I was going to come a year prior, but I put it off, right? You talk yourself out of it. You're like, why am I gonna go there? You know, there's no point. You know, it's a waste of money. But when I did decide to come, that night I actually drank a few beers and I was pretty tipsy. And I did that on purpose because I felt like I maybe wouldn't buy the ticket otherwise. Bought the plane ticket and I specifically bought it without any kind of insurance, so I couldn't back out of it. That was what I did. And then I kind of committed to it that way. Then later, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks later, then I asked for the time off of work, which I knew I would get it off. So I'd really just committed to it, sat on it for a little bit, and then, you know, planned everything out. Another major problem that people might have is maybe what you think the locals will think of you if you go to the country. And it's been my experience so far. I've been to Indonesia, Philippines, and Vietnam, and people are welcoming. You know, I think you get what you give. Of course, you're gonna get some kind of, I don't want to say criticism, but of course, anywhere you go, when you're from another country or something, you're different, right? So you're either gonna get a lot of stares, or maybe people look like they're maybe not so friendly, but it comes with the territory. No one's ever said anything to me, obviously. Maybe they said it in their own language, but I haven't heard anything in English, at least. Don't worry about that. You know, everywhere in Asia is pretty relaxed. They really are. And I've been in the Philippines especially, and they're very, very open, nice people. You know, especially if you're nice with them. I've seen a lot of foreigners, and myself personally, I've kind of lost my cool a couple times, just getting impatient. And you can kind of tell they're just like, that's a real turnoff for them, right? They're like, well, you know. But if you kind of blend in and stay cool, you really will enjoy your time. And I think you'll be accepted with warm welcomes. Now, I will say on the flip side of that, if you're gonna move, I've said it in other videos, and other YouTubers always say it, you gotta try to spend as much time as you can in that country before you decide to move. I mean, at least a couple months. If you're seriously gonna move somewhere, spend a couple months. After a couple months, you'll get a good feel whether or not you think you can make it there or you would like to stay there. That way too, you can go to other parts of the country, which is pivotal. That's essential. You have to go to other parts, different cities, just like in America where I'm from. You can go to one city and it's got a certain feel. You go to another city, it's a completely different feel. You know, maybe you go to you're in the city and then you go to like a country town and it's real laid back, you know, real relaxed, people real nice and happy. Same thing here. Another issue that people have is a job, money. If you're not at the retirement age or you don't have a bunch of money that you're sitting on, a lot of people were like, well, what am I gonna do for money? And luckily, something I'm doing right now is we're very, very fortunate. It's in the digital age right now. So, I mean, the internet's a powerful, powerful thing. But here in Vietnam, a ton of foreigners, a lot of them, they teach English. So that's a major thing that's done here. People teach English and make a lot of money sometimes doing it. It's pretty crazy. I mean, talking like $20, $25 an hour teaching English, which is insane in comparison to the cost of living here. For instance, right now, the hotel I'm staying in, it's about $370 for the month, which is a screaming deal, right? So it's not like that everywhere. I really searched to find this place, and it was a nice little, I got lucky with it. The cost of living with the comparison of what you can make here is very, very high. Now, tons of people teach English online. I know there's a lot of people that do like IT work and just any kind of online work. And sometimes the companies back home will allow them to maybe live in another country as long as they stay on the same schedule. So essentially here they'd be working at night. But don't worry about that. If that's something that's possibly holding you back, do not worry about that. There's tons of opportunity. As long as you're willing to do something maybe that you wouldn't normally do, you can find job, you can find work. On that, to try to make sure, don't just jump here hoping that you get a good job. You need to bring as much money as you can to give yourself some support, and so you're not worried or anything. Because why would you want to move here and then be worried about money? That's the stupidest thing ever. If that's an issue, don't worry about it. And the final problem I can say, or issue people that have with vacation or moving here, is how much money. So real quick, I'll say with vacation, if you're coming to Southeast Asia, after your plane ticket and accommodation, let's just say for 2 weeks, $1,500 per person, $1,500. Now that's for a great time. That's if you're gonna party, you know, maybe go to like nice restaurants, you know, who knows what you wanna do, but that'll give you plenty of cushion to do basically whatever you wanna do in that 2 week period. As long as you're not going crazy, obviously, but just the standard coming, you know, hanging out, going to the bar at night and just partying, you know, maybe eating at some of the buffets or stuff like that. $1,500 will give you plenty of cushion room for that. You can definitely get away with less, but I would say $1,500 is what you should shoot for. Definitely you can do it for $1,000. And people are gonna say even cheaper, which you absolutely can. But for sure I would hit that. Now for moving, that's a completely different story. I brought a little over 10 grand. But some people, I would say at least 15, maybe 20. And you got to give yourself as much cushion as you can, you know. I mean, if you're watching this video, you've obviously watched a ton of other videos, and you already know, you've heard all the numbers, and you hear the same numbers for a reason. 15, 20,000, I would say you can bring, obviously more if possible, and that will really help to get you set up. Now it depends too what your age is. I'm 30. If your retirement age is different, but I will say try to be as patient as you can and do it, because for me, I'm very impulsive, and I even though I sat on the decision for months and actually over a year, I really wanted to go, you know. And it's like, it's okay to push it out another 6 months, you know, maybe push another 6 months, a year, and work. And at the time it seems like forever, right? It seems like forever. Oh my god, I gotta get out of here, whatever, right? All dramatic. But you'll thank yourself a lot in the end, because what you're gonna be earning back home is different what you're gonna be earning here. Also, you're just gonna be working there, you're gonna be focused, you're gonna be wanting to save your money, and you're just gonna be thinking about your goal. So do yourself a favor, please, and bring as much money as you can, and then scope out the areas obviously as much as you can, and spend as much time as you can if you're going to live somewhere in different cities and different areas. So I hope this video was helpful. I've watched a ton of these before I came to Asia. I've been here for 4 months now, traveling around. I feel like I have a little bit to offer, so that's my 2 cents on it. As always, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if there's something that you were thinking about or have any questions, and I'll answer them.